Hello, hey there, welcome, and thanks for joining us today to chat. I am Jen B with Cognitive Coaching Life, and I'm here with my great friend Agakura B, and we want to chat with you today. Yay, hi Agakura.
Hi Jen, how are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm really good. And Agakura and I have been talking about being HSPs and for me being a neurodivergent and what that means, especially this time of year. So I'm going to ask some questions, and Agakora, just share whatever comes from your heart, and we're going to chat. So hopefully you've grabbed your favorite beverage, joined us, settle in, and we're going to have a conversation together. If anything pops up or you want to share something, please throw it in the comments below. Anything we mentioned today for tools and ideas, we'll be putting those in the description. So make sure you like, subscribe, and come on back for our next chat. All right, Agakora, are you ready?
Oh, I love that. That.
Awesome. Okay, so we both grown up differently, both different backgrounds. We've connected through our different coaching. Agakura is an amazing expert in HSP, and really her clients focus mostly that way, but I'll let her tell you a little bit more about that. And I'm more of the neurodivergent, late in life identified, and figuring out who I wanted to be. So we're going to start with the growing up different, Agakura. So tell us a little bit about you're different when you're an HSP. What does that mean? What does that feel like?
Mm, it feels like you you're labeled pretty quickly, like the one who's always crying, the one who's always annoyed or annoyed again. Why can't you just suck it up? Why can't you just, and so on and so forth. So it's um I think what it did was condition me really quickly to see how I had to be so that um I wouldn't be called out for being me.
Mhm. Yes.
And it wasn't welcome. It wasn't something where I felt that okay, it's safe to be. I actually am trying to recall, and there was never this place where I was like, I feel safe being me here.
Right.
It was always like, if I cry, I'm going to be called out. And then also feeling the emotions of the people around you can also be very overwhelming as a child, especially parents, because as kids, I think we want to see our parents happy. And just the other day, I was in a call where I said I grew up really walking into the room with a thermometer to see what temperature, so what mood there was in the living room, whether my dad was all right, whether he was upset from work, whether something had happened, and then just just tiptoe around that. So there was never really this carefree. I have the feeling that sometimes I would say I was always old.
Mhm. So, did
And
anyone
with old,
ever
I
say
mean
the
like,
words old soul to you? Like, oh, Agakura is such an old soul.
yeah, and then I became the heavy soul, the one who was never, who always had to, I don't know, even the music I listened to later, it was always very, um, very, I mean, Tracy Chapman, Bob Marley, like the
Mhm.
things that are not going well in this world, you
Right,
know?
the mood
The
music. That's
mood,
what I would
yes,
called it. Right.
exactly. But to fit in, I had a New Kids on the Block poster on my walls. I mean, I did fit in.
You were belonging right there. There's your
I
little
was
I belong.
blogging. But what about you growing up
Um,
different?
Mine was I agree with you, and I love your thermometer comment because we would walk into the room, and as a child, now looking back with this wisdom, I can realize I didn't know what was my feelings and what was someone else's. I could watch a TV show or a movie and I could feel the sadness or the pain of that person that was there, or I could be in a group of people and feel that energy and oh, Jen's sensitive. Or what I heard a lot was with my neurodivergent, I couldn't sit still. I was always like doing something and chatting, and that was the activity of me. And back then there was no diagnosis for girls of having ADHD. It was just that you're supposed to sit right and be proper and quiet and seen, not heard type of thing. And so growing up, it was the people pleasing. Okay, so how do I fit in? I have to sit and I have to act like this and I have to be like this. And when you said thermometer, I thought, yeah, I walk into a room as a little kid and I would say, where am I supposed to be? How am I supposed to sit? And how am I supposed to behave? So it definitely was different growing up. And my music um, was very eclectic because try to people please. You figure out what your friends like and you like it. But I really was drawn to heavy metal. Like I know that's so off of an image, but I love the heavy metal. And right even to today, if I'm in a mood and I need to get excess energy out, I will just put some heavy rock music on and let it go.
What group? Just out of curiosity, what group?
Oh my gosh. So a whole bunch. There was like the Scorpions and you had
Mm.
White Lion. For
Metallica?
those of you listening, I am definitely dating myself. And you had Def Leppard and like the funny the what do they call them? Bubblegum rock now. So like you had Poison and the Cinderella, like all the heavy metal,
Mm.
AC/DC. I went and I saw Motley Crue in concert. I saw oh my gosh, I'm really blanking on the one, but it was David Lee Roth was the lead singer, but he wasn't it was well, it's that one. If you guys can remember what it is, throw it in the comments.
No,
But
I'm asking because I love Metallica.
yes, like
So that
today now I can go in now and I love the old classic. I know that's I'm really dating all of us now, but the old classic Ozzy Osbournes and Metallicas and the um gosh, Paranoid's the one of the favorite ones. Black Sabbath, I think is the one now that if it comes on, I will turn it up. So that's the difference. Like, so as an HSP, we can feel a whole bunch of different things. As a neurodivergent, my brain was working overtime. So I never knew the two were different. I always thought it was all one big jumbled tangle. And now knowing that, I'm able to love those two different parts for what they are and recognize them when they
Okay.
show up.
You
So,
said something I wanted to ask. You mentioned being a girl, adding to
mm,
having to look how to behave.
yes,
Would you say that boys growing up neurodivergent have a different, I mean, everybody has a different, every individual has a different story,
right.
but would you say that there is something um that's like the way you should behave as a girl and that played into
It absolutely did. And especially then it was, oh, boys are just boys. Like there's a whole lot of different growth, thankfully, in society to today. Still lots to go, but there was more recognizing, oh, he just has so much energy. No, 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 a girl, she should be sitting and oh, look at how nice she's behaving. Like there's always been that polarization of behaviors from way back.
Okay, here's the interesting thing why I asked, because I've been part of some Facebook groups for highly sensitive people. And the men in those groups always say, you don't know how hard it is for a man to be highly sensitive. So,
Mhm.
a boy who grows up neurodivergent, oh, he has so much energy. And a girl, she can't sit still. A boy who's born highly sensitive, oh, it's a crybaby. He's not really a boy.
Yes.
And with a girl, it's not okay. It's still too much. But I began to understand the extra difficulty for boys who are highly sensitive and who may want to just withdraw for a while or just like not be on the football team, not be in the loud
Right.
crowd and so on. And that's interesting that both being neurodivergent and highly sensitive have the how do you say, the challenge for
Yes,
depending on whether you're a boy or a girl.
exactly. And I love that you pointed that out because highly sensitive is not gender based. It is open and it can be anyone and any level too. I'm not going to say just because I go into a crowd and I feel all the energy, it happens every time. Maybe because we're learning how
Mhm.
to put up our boundaries and recognize it that it's not. But yeah, that definitely isn't, there's such a standard, a double standard. Girls are this, boys are this. Yeah.
Yeah. And for me, it was an eye opener because I was a bit like in this black and white thinking like, man, life is always easier for them until now. Until you go into a group where there's a man who's like, hold on, I'm highly sensitive and it's not at all easy for
Yeah.
me because I don't fit in. I'm not the typical guy.
Right. Man up. Be like a
Exactly.
man. Don't be like a
That was one
girl.
of the things that don't be a girl. And I mean, um, I recently, a friend of mine told me that she was activated hearing a dad tell his kid, man up. And I'm like, they still do that?
Yes.
They're
It's
our age or younger, and it's still used.
mm,
Don't be a girl. No, he said, don't be, yeah, don't be a girl.
don't be a girl or yeah. And now I love that I run like a girl. I throw like a girl because I'm powerful and I've got that in me. But it's taking a long time,
Mm.
especially for our HSP sides, to just balance that. I still think there's a lot of work to do, like you pointed out. So I welcome more choices and discussions on that too, to help
Yeah.
others. And you
And also,
mentioned, sorry,
no, go.
triggering.
Mm.
So when your friend's triggered or when you're triggered or well, let's go into the holiday question. We'll move into the holiday question with this triggering. Right now, as an HSP, is a very busy time. There's lots of feelings. There's lots of, depending on, now, Agakura lives in a different country. I live in a, than I live in. And so we both have lots of different things going on socially, politically, holiday wise. And so that doesn't change what we're both feeling. So, Agakura, can you share a little bit about what this holiday season could do for an HSP and some ideas of how to notice and protect ourselves?
I mean, this is the first season where it's doing nothing to me, as in I'm good because we are going to be on a road trip, which for me is like it's saving me from having to anticipate. So in the past, what it could do is you already feel as if you've lived by the time Christmas start, by the time the gatherings start and the family comes, your body is already in a state as if it had lived this because you've lived it through in your head. You've already gone through every comment that everybody, and I don't even think this is just HSPs, but you digest it on a deeper level. You already know who's going to say what to whom because out of experience. There'll be maybe people with different political views, or maybe there'll be people aiming at you. So there's going to be so much going on. And because you know that actually for many people, it's a gathering where many people may have an issue with someone who's also going to be there, or it's not there. People usually in the holidays, it's not the group of choice you get together with. It's the group of obligation. That's the way we do it. And there are some people you'd rather not have in one room. But then they will be in one room because it's Christmas. But as an HSP, yes, what you do is you already try to anticipate when what will happen when that person has another glass of wine. They might say something that will trigger that person. And so just to sum it up, it's like you sometimes arrive at the 24th and you feel as if you'd already lived through the whole days
Yes.
and you
Yes.
just want to go. I mean, I've had many Christmases where I was like, I just want to go to bed and cover up.
Just give me all, I go to the food. Give me all the sugar. I want the cake, the cookies, and we're good. Like that's where I can notice myself going. And I like how you said a group of obligation, not choice. And that is a very strong thing for all of us right now because we're people pleasers. We can feel what others are feeling. And like you said, is I can play out so many scenarios in my head before I even get there that I go, oh, I don't want to be there. So I have to remind myself, don't borrow that from the future. Just stay here, stay intentional. Um, So I'll ask you then, when you're
Can I
feeling
just
that,
add something?
yes,
Can I just add something? And if this year was I knew I was meeting in this circle of obligations that I won't say names to protect them. They
very
start with
smart.
I and end with laws. I I wouldn't. I wouldn't be enjoying this talk with you now. I
Right.
would already, we're the set, is it the 18th?
Yes.
I would already be thinking in 6 days and everything would build up until there. And I wouldn't be sitting here um like having this laugh with you, or I would
Right.
be in a different energy.
Yes.
And I think you were going to go to the body, right? Was that
Yes.
sorry. Yeah.
Yes. Because well, we started in our mind. Here's all the thoughts, here's all the things we're thinking,
Yes.
experiencing, or we're going to expect to happen. But then we started, I know we were talking earlier about where does that show up in our body? And for those of you who haven't quite started your journey yet, or you're thinking about the journey of personal development and growth, and knowing that you want to go a little bit further in who you are, I've been on my journey for probably like 7 years trying to figure out, take care of some things, notice things. Um, and then realizing the late in life ADHD diagnosis, which comes with a whole lot of guilt, shame, energy stuff that we can unpack at another time. So today, Agakura and I have been talking about, well, where do we notice that? What are we feeling? So if you're sitting here with us, just take a deep breath. And when you take that deep breath, you're going to notice, you think that thought, where does that energy show up in your body? And for us, for me, it comes into my shoulders. I start thinking about all the people, and my shoulders go heavier and they get heavier. And they just feel like the weight is there on my shoulders and it starts to close me up, which is my way of making a shield so that I can be protected from others' thoughts, others' feelings, others' emotions, things that aren't in my control. And then as I start to feel that, we're going to go into this in a second, but I start to create different boundaries then so that I can be in my whole self healthy. And so, Agakura, where do you feel that, my friend?
My stomach.
Oh, can you
It
explain that?
is this the same feeling like I've also had. So I've also worked as a classical singer, and before some of the performances, it's that same feeling like just let it be over, just let it be over. And um it's like a joy blocker. It's like
Mm,
because I feel joy in my stomach as well many times.
yeah.
And it's like it can't get into my stomach. That's how tense it is. And to be honest, because we were going to give some hacks, right?
Yes, we're going to share a little bit of tips.
Mm.
Would you like to start?
I was just thinking that if you can, I mean, it's difficult, I know that to pull out of some things, but there was one year where we deliberately put it in a way that we had to work during Christmas time. So my husband is a chef, works in a restaurant, and he made it in a way that both of us. So if you can maybe get creative, is there something that you could do so that you can't get into those obligations? Is there maybe an option to say, okay, I'm traveling? Because now that I'm thinking back, it's like it is so unfair to our bodies to do this to our bodies. So
Mm,
if you really feel like the holiday season is something that you'd rather have over, and it's not just the, oh yeah, there's going to be Uncle so and so, and then he's a bit annoying when he's had his brandy. Well, but for some people it's really severe.
hmm.
It's like
Right,
this is coming and I'm not, I can't wait for it to be over. Then maybe think if there are some creative ways of, well, I'm working at the soup kitchen this year.
right. And they could
And
always
then
join you there.
yeah, and once I'm home, um, it will be too late for me to go to
Mm,
this party.
right. And also, I love this saying, no is a full sentence.
Mm.
No. And I know that's not particularly easy for a lot of people. It definitely is something that has to be grown and learned and practiced. And then the releasing of any guilt or energy around that. But I know Agakura is going to be doing some exercises. We're going to put the details and links in the description. I'm going to offer a grounding exercise. You can follow the video where it just helps you to ground. And there are times I have that on my phone. I have 3 alarms on my phone, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and one in the evening, just to take 30 seconds for a deep grounding breath exercise. And I will post that video and you can follow along. It's 30 seconds to a minute, whatever your body feels like it needs. But Agakura did mention it's not fair to our bodies. And so it's really good that we're able to kind of go, oh, I noticed that and I want to take care of me. So self-care is very important. Taking the time to rest and reset, just like you were mentioning, is very important. And I also love um, choosing fun things. Like you've got to have some things you're excited about. You're excited about your trip coming up. I mean, that's a choice and that's an amazing choice. And I got excited because I finally decorated yesterday. I wasn't going to do that, but this year I would just be like, ah, I don't have the energy. But once I got into it, neurodivergent wise, hyper focus, I got it done. But now I'm very happy I did because I love lights and I love the feel of things. And so I'm looking forward to baking too. That's one of my other favorite things that
Oh,
I'm looking forward to doing. So you're all going on a road trip. What else are you looking forward to?
pardon?
What else are you looking forward to?
Um, I'm just looking forward to continue creating habits that put me first.
Mm. I'm going to pause that and she's going to say that again because hopefully you've written that down. Can you say that again, please, my friend?
Creating habits that put me first.
Very important.
And I was wondering, um, do you still have obligation holidays, or is that something that's also in the
Very
past?
good question. Um, every holiday there's an obligation with family.
Okay.
And I'm learning to navigate that to what works for me.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's still a work in progress. I'm not perfect. I am perfectly imperfect. So I can claim, yes, I've got that, check it off this year, but it always looks different. It's a different quilt of people and puzzle pieces and things coming through. Look, I just put 2 different analogies all in one. But
Quilt and puzzle.
I'm like, you can tell I was doing pieces and parts. So that's where I'm at this year. It feels like it's better. I'm
Okay.
noticing more of what I want and how I want it to feel and look. It's not quite where it would be like, oh, I'm on a beach, I'm singing, yay, I'm all by myself. And that's
And
okay.
do you prefer hosting, or do you prefer
Oh,
being at someone's place?
okay, as a host, I can then control the whole organization of it all and have what I want, but then I have to wait for everybody to leave. So as an introvert, I would rather go somewhere, have my little part in where I'm going and help there and see the people I like and be able to leave and come home and relax and go to sleep when I want. How about you?
I'd rather host because at least I'm in the four walls that feel safe to me. I'm not exposed. So even if
Mm,
someone was mean, I can tell them off in my home.
right. Oh, wow. That's
I
two
can say,
different
hey,
thought processes there, and I see that.
this stops here. This is my place.
Whereas, yeah, I think if people are coming into my home, they wouldn't be disrespecting me. And if they did, it would be then done and
Mhm.
check it
Mhm.
off. So, yeah,
Mhm.
I can see that too. And if I'm out and they disrespect me, I can just, peace, I'm out.
Oh yeah, that too. That
But I
too.
understand the safety of the walls,
The
especially.
safety. The safety. Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
it's something maybe that also we could put down for another conversation. I
Yes.
think, I don't know about neurodivergent, but I can imagine that it's similar. We have had many situations where we felt unsafe, or it was like unsafe to be, unsafe to say, unsafe to do.
Right.
And I think safety is something that's very big um on our list.
Right. And
Or it's
safety,
important to feel safe for us, right?
when you say safe, what is your idea of safe? Is
It's apart from the physical safety, which I've never been really very particular about. I've walked through Beirut at night, like when I was living in Lebanon, and I was like, "Wow, wow." Safety, I mean, I'm not going to be attacked for being me or for
Mhm.
being who I am.
Right.
It's not like I'm going to cry and then someone will come and say, what are you crying about? Or I mean emotional safety,
Yes.
put it in that way. Emotional safety.
Yes. I
And
agree.
it's something, it's not like I'm going to run with open arms towards someone and then they're going to like stab me. You know,
No.
that's what I
Right.
mean with safe.
Right.
I need to feel safe.
Yes. And I'm not sure about you, but I'm going to put this out there and you can tell me if this resonates is learning that my self-love safety, the concept of loving myself and understanding who I am and where I belong, that's also a safety thing too,
Oh,
is if
yeah.
I don't belong where I was thinking I could go and be safe, I'm not going to go then. I will start to choose me over that type of an environment. So safety has now become more of taking care of who I am and understanding I where I am and who I am, if that makes
Where you
sense.
are. And it's interesting because we've talked about this before, that so we're in the same coaching program. That's where we met and became friends. And we both once talked about how sometimes we will want to write something in the chat because we're being asked to engage in chat, and then we won't. And then we both realized that it was because of the experience of having a teacher tell you off. And even if it's such a safe space, like the instructors are amazing, we've got the most amazing teachers, and they've never reacted in a way where I would go, oh no, I better not write something in because, but still,
Right.
because of those experiences, and I think we'll also talk about that, how you can actually and I have a video on that. I've just uploaded one. So it's an audio with music, meditation type,
Mm.
how your body remembers, like your mind may forget, but your body
Oh,
remembers.
always.
So there's certain things that happen to us that even if they were maybe traumatic and we shut them out, or we were 2 or 3 years old, but they're stored in our bodies.
Yeah.
And it's so it's a challenge to overcome that. And I think actually for me, the way to overcome that has been inner child work that we've also been taught in our coaching program, because it's like there is no reason why you should feel like that in that classroom that we're in.
Right. In life too. I mean,
In life,
there's a
yes.
lot of different, so as Agakura mentioned, we have a lot we're going to talk about in the future, and
Yes.
a couple of them, and are probably our next one is going to be about HSPs and neurodivergence in the world interpretation fitting in. Where do you see us in business? Where do you see us? Most of us have become entrepreneurs because that's how we fit in. So I hope you'll join us next time. We've got some things we're going to be putting into our descriptions. But if we're going to leave you with one thing, and you're Agakura, think about this, what you're going to share. You're thinking about coaching, you're not sure you're there for coaching, you're not sure where you want to start on your personal development growth journey right now. What is one thing we can leave them with today that helps them where they are
You mean where they are
in their journey today?
in their journey today? Um, for me, it's always the same answer. Spend more time alone if you
Mm,
can.
absolutely.
Unless your life is already like you're okay, I don't have that many connections, I need connection. But then look for healthy connections, the one that make you feel like you are seen and you belong. So start looking for the circles that where you don't have to change. You always say it in such a beautiful way, like you're the squiggle and you're
We're the
trying to
squiggly lines in a square world.
exactly and look for the other squiggly lines.
Yes, because you'll
We
see us. We know who our tribe is, folks. We know who clicks with us. I can have a conversation with someone and know at the end of the conversation if they're meant to be in my world or not. So it's
Mhm.
like yeah. And
And if
I would say the
someone,
same.
and if you're too much for someone,
They're not for
it's
you.
them. It's them.
Yeah,
Because it's like don't hold back the tears so that so and so
right.
doesn't
Feels
feel
comfortable.
awkward and doesn't know what to do with your tears. Look for, I think what I'd leave them with also is like your people are out there. I think we
Hmm.
we try to keep to fit into this box for so long. We're both late identified. I mean, I knew I was an HSP at 41. I don't know when you discovered the neurodivergence, but we've had decades
Yeah,
of trying to
decades.
fit in. So,
I was going to say, I won't tell you my age because then that really tells you my
but
age. But yeah, it's
decades,
been
decades.
decades of experience of fitting in, of masking, of pretending and covering up. So we'll talk about that in the future too. How can you uncover your your true self? So we'll go through those layers. But
Yeah.
for me today, along with Agakura's finding time for yourself and spending more time um, if you're not an introvert, see how that works as an extrovert. Maybe it's like you were saying, it's finding the right people and the right energy to be with. And I would encourage you to do set an alarm on your phone for once a day of a deep breathing grounding exercise, 30 seconds to a minute at the most. It doesn't have to be a you have to, you should, or you must. It just give yourself that little treat of a reset and just notice things around you. What's a smell? What's something you're hearing? What's something you see? It's a very simple and intentional moment that you take for yourself. And that's just a beginning. So if that's all you've got and you can run with that holiday season, you might find some times where you feel a little more rejuvenated and hopefully you'll
Is
feel
there an app? Because you're talking about grounding in 30 minutes. Is there an app? Or how do you do, or how do you take yourself through that 30 minutes,
yes.
30 seconds?
Yes, the links will be in the description.
Okay.
I will be sharing a video of my own grounding and what I do and the
Amazing.
breathing. And then
Yes.
Agakura's link for the meditation will also be in the description. So make sure you check those out. Leave comments below, like, subscribe, come back to see more content, and share your questions with us. What else would you like to see? What did you enjoy? What did you relate to? And we look forward to seeing you again next time. Anything else?
Merry Christmas.
Oh, yes. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays for all of you out there. So take care.
Yes. Take care.